Mackenzie. So she'll be joining us for some or part of the yoga class. And I just want to say I hope everybody had a very happy new year. So welcome to 2019, first class of 2019 by video. So let's get it started. Just find a comfortable seated position on your mat. That's Murphy. Find a comfortable seated position on your mat. Close your eyes, hands fall right onto your knees. We're going to start by tuning into our breath, so just paying attention to that inhale and exhale, slowly rising and falling. Let the breath open up your rib cage from the front, back, and sides. And then draw in the ribs on the exhale to push the breath out and open the space for the new. Sit tall through the spine, ears pull back over the shoulders, so we're sitting up nice and tall, both hips grounded on the mat. Once our breath has settled us in, we're just going to take a scan through the body quick just to check in, see where any tension may be held. Starting at the top of the head, moving down through the forehead, into the space between the eyes. Coming down through the jaw, the neck, into the shoulders. Down along the shoulders, through the upper arms, lower arms, and hands, feeling the contact of your hands with your knees. Coming back up to the shoulders, moving down through the back, into the hips. Feeling both hips grounded on the mat. Moving down through the legs. Out through the shins and into the ankles on the mat. And then just settling in, coming back to your breath after you've brought that awareness to what's going on inside your body. You can blink open your eyes and start to get some movement into the shoulders. So just rolling the shoulders forward, up, rounding down and back. Breathing in on the inhale, forward and up, exhale, down and back. Go ahead and switch directions, so moving the shoulders back, up on an inhale, forward and down on an exhale, working at your own pace. Relax the arms. We're going to bring our left hand over to our side on the mat, and we're going to inhale, reach our right arm up overhead, coming into that side stretch. In the side stretch, keeping your right hip on the mat as the right fingertips reach up overhead, expanding all the way through that side body. Take your gaze and look up through the elbow towards the ceiling. Exhale, let your right hand find the kneecap, and then draw your left hand in behind you so you sit up nice and tall. Inhale, and then exhale into a twist. Each inhale you sit up a little taller. Each exhale you twist a little further. deep inhale there. Exhale, come back to center. And this time bringing your right hand out to the side. Inhale, your left arm up overhead. No. So just in this side stretch to start, keeping the gaze forward. Your elbow on your right side can be slightly bent. If you want more of a stretch, just keeping in mind that the left hip stays grounded. Turn your gaze and look up through the elbow towards the ceiling. Breathing into the left side. Exhale, lower the left hand to the right knee. Draw the right hand in behind you, coming into a twist on the other side. Sitting up nice and tall, and then exhaling, using the left hand on the knee to push yourself into a gentle twist. Sitting up tall as if someone were pulling the string up through the center of the spine. Inhale and then exhale back towards center. And we're going to come up onto our knees. So we're sitting just on our shins, heels back. The hips back over the heels. And what we're going to do here from this position is we're going to raise up onto our shins and we're going to extend the left leg out to the side. So the left leg just comes out, toes are pointed straight ahead. And then we're going to work our left hand down our thigh and take that same side stretch that we were before. Now feeling this instead of just from our hips to our fingertips, from our knee through our IT band and coming all the way up. The gaze can be straightforward or it can take that same turn so you're looking up towards the ceiling. Pushing down through the right knee and pulling up through the right hand. Feeling maybe the stretch in the abs from the core crusher on Wednesday. If anything there is feeling pretty tight, just taking that breath and moving it into the space. Inhale there, exhale your right hand down, draw your left leg in, sit back on your shins for a moment, taking a breath and feeling the difference now between your two side bodies. Coming back up onto your shins, so lifting the hips off the heels and extending your right foot out to the side, right toes pointing straight ahead. The left palm goes onto the quad, or the right palm goes onto the quad. It moves its way down the right leg as you inhale and stretch the left arm straight up overhead. Pushing actively down through that right knee that's grounded on the mat, extending and keeping the right leg activated. Feeling the pull, the stretch through the hip flexor in front on the left side. See if you can take your stretch a little bit further as if someone was grabbing a hold of your fingertips and pulling up. If you can separate the ribs and just stretch as far as you can, and then exhale, lower the left hand, come back to the shins, sit the hips down over the heels. From there, we're going to come onto hands and knees. So just rotating and facing the front of your mat. Hands are hip width apart. Hands are shoulder width apart. Knees are hip width apart. And we're going to take that breath and movement into cat and cow. So we're inhaling, dropping the belly, raising the hips and the head. Exhaling, pulling up through the diaphragm and rounding through the spine, tucking the chin to the chest. Working nice and slow, moving back and forth, just taking that breath and linking it with each movement. So the exhale comes on the round. And the inhale comes on the arch. Come to neutral spine, rock back slightly, and then step your right foot forward so your hands are on the inside of your leg. So if I'm here, my hands are going to be just inside. Breathing into that stretch, feeling that stretch through the left front hip. See if you can drop forward just a little bit more. And I know it looks like I'm on the opposite side of you, but your right leg is stepped forward and your hands are just on the inside. Extending straight through the back. Take the right foot and heel toe it out. And then make your toes turned out as you drop into the hip. You can bring your hand up and gently push on the inside of the knee. And then from a raised arm, you can come down onto your elbow and just gently push out through the knee. Coming into our hips. Had some heavy legs this week. So just really taking care of those hips that bear all of our weight that whole time. Good. If you're down on your elbow, coming back up onto your hand, bringing both hands inside the foot, heel toeing that foot back in. And then we're going to take our right hand outside the leg and we're going to sit back into that hamstring stretch. So from there, we're just extending back, toes up towards the ceiling, chest drawing towards the toe. So you're taking that gaze and looking forward. Fingertips on the floor. And feeling this stretch down through the back of the leg. Good. Weight shifts forward as we bend the knee, and we're going to bring that right foot back and then step our left foot forward this time. Bringing both hands inside the left foot and sitting into that right hip flexor stretch. Gaze can be down just slightly in front of your hands. Knee, left knee hugging into the arm. Go ahead and heel toe the left foot out to the side. Placing the left hand up on the knee and then dropping down to our right elbow. Feeling this stretch outside the left hip, maybe down through the IT band, the TFL, getting that stretch. And depending on where you're tight, you may still feel this in the hip flexor, and that's okay too. I know myself, my hips are pretty tight, so that's where I'm primarily going to feel it. Come back up onto the right hand, heel toe that left foot back in, and then sit your hips back over the right heel, raising the left toes towards the ceiling and coming into a hamstring stretch on the left side. Instead of rounding through the spine, we want to be nice and extended, drawing like if we had a beam of light coming from our sternum or our chest towards our toes, and sitting back into that stretch. Good, sink a little deeper if you want, sliding that left heel forward. Hips are squared towards the left foot. Pull the left heel back. If it moved forward, bend in the left knee. Place both hands down and push back into downward facing dog. From down dog, take your feet as wide as the mat. Bend your right knee and straighten through your left. Coming from, we moved in the hamstring, so coming down from the hamstring, moving into the calf. Bend your left knee and straighten your right leg. Switch again, bending the right, straightening the left. Hugging both arms in and pushing back through the shoulders. Switch legs. And look up at your hands and take your feet for a walk. Come up to your hands in a forward fold. You can let the fingertips stay on the ground, or you can bring your fingertips off the ground, hug your elbows, and just let your upper body weight pull down. Ribs laying over the front of the thighs. Inhale, part way up, hands onto the shins. Exhale, fold down, and this time pushing through the feet. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to take it back into a side stretch, getting our bellies open. So inhale, your arms up overhead. Grab a hold of your left wrist with your right hand and take the bend to your right. Breathing here, keeping the gaze straight forward. Inhale, back up towards center, switch the grip of your hands and bend over to your left. Good, inhale, back up, exhale the hands down. We're gonna work on the balance. So we're gonna practice with balancing on one foot because we're gonna come into a warrior 3 version with some balance. So to start, I want to take the weight off my left foot. So I'm just going to come onto my toes. It helps with balance to find a point of gaze in the room. And from there, I'm just going to try and bring my left knee up towards my chest. I can reach down and grab just behind my knee. With this, if I find myself in this rounded position trying to reach my quad, I want to purposely try and extend and pull my shoulders back, extend through my spine, and then if my grip is there, I can take my hands to around my knee instead of behind my knee, and I can pull that knee in towards my center. If you found yourself wobbling or falling out of the pose, just come back into the pose and keep trying to work this balance. Good, nice and tall, pulling the knee in, inhale. Exhale, set the left foot back down. And then just shift your weight from side to side, feeling the difference maybe between each hip now that you've stretched into that side. And then we're going to work the other side. So taking the weight off the right foot and just pausing there for a moment, finding your pointed gaze out in front of you for the balance. Inhale there, exhale, draw the right leg up towards you and grab under the knee and hamstring. Standing up nice and tall. Getting your balance there. If you have your balance, taking the grip so your hands come in front of the knee, and you can either overlap your hands or have your hands interlaced just on the front of the knee. And then if you found yourself rounded, again, straightening through that left leg, pulling back through the right knee, drawing the shoulder blades back and sitting up nice and tall. Good, pulling the kneecap in. This helps realign your spine into its proper place with your pelvis, alleviating back pain or any pain we may have from either the heavy lifts that we did or sitting throughout the week, back at work from all the holidays. This is going to help kind of put everything back into place. Inhale, draw the knee in. Exhale, lower the foot down. I'm going to take a walk back to my mat. So if you have found your way around and you're not, just walk to the front of your mat at this time. Hands come to heart. Inhale, the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward over the front legs. Inhale, part way up. Exhale, step both feet back into downward facing dog. Inhale, look at the hands. Exhale, step the left foot forward. From there, we're gonna shift our weight into the left leg, stepping the back leg in about 4 inches. And then we're gonna walk our hands out 4 inches. Inhale, exhale there, and then draw your right foot up off the ground. So coming from here, our foot is now gonna be raised up. Hips are square over that left leg. Hands are down on the floor in front of us. Breathing there, staying engaged through the left leg. Toes on the raised leg are pointed down towards the floor. Inhale, see if you can get just a little more height, and then exhale, lower the right leg down towards the mat. Pausing there. And then on an inhale, taking the left leg up this time. So you're in this standing forward split. Hips are square towards the standing leg. Good, feeling how it is to engage the leg that's rooted on the mat. Good, walk the hands forward. Allow the left leg to come back down, so you're bending the right knee and then you're stepping back into downward facing dog. Shift forward into a high plank. Breathe there, taking that engagement into the core. Shift forward over the hands, bend the elbows and lower down onto your belly. Walk the hands out at an angle. Inhale, come up into cobra, extending through the back. pulling the shoulders down. Exhale, forward. Draw the hands back to they're in line with the chest. Push over your knees and push back into downward facing dog. Look at the hand, step the left foot forward again this time. Rock forward onto that left leg, stepping the back foot in 4 inches. This time we're going to walk both hands forward, and then we're going to lift the back leg, and we're going to allow the hip to turn out. So before, how I was here, my leg was back and my hips were squared. I'm going to allow the hips to open so my toes open to the side. Once my toes are open to the side, I'm going to take my right hand and bring my right hand just to my chest. And then I'm going to work to extend my arm up towards the ceiling. So you can maybe be able to see me wobbling in my standing leg. If you come out of it, just come back up into it. And know that if your gaze is down towards the floor, it's going to be a little bit easier than if we bring our gaze up towards the ceiling. Good. Lower the arm down to the chest. Square the hips over the standing leg. Place the right hand down, and then the foot comes down. Lean your weight over your legs and draw your arms up into a quick stretch. Good. Weight shifts over onto the right leg. Left foot comes off the ground. Hips open up towards the side of the room. And then our left hand comes up to our chest. As we pause, find our balance, and then draw the hand straight up. Gaze, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, can come up towards the raised hand at the ceiling. When the hand comes back down, hips square over the standing leg, we're going to lower the left leg, ground the hands on the mat, step back into downward dog. Drop the knees onto the mat, sit the hips back and come into child's pose. From child's pose, rock up slightly. Take the right hand out to the side and then thread it through behind the left hand, coming down onto the outer edge of our arm. We're here, we're threading the arm through and we're coming down onto the outer edge, resting the ear on the mat. This time I want to take the hand that's out front and bring it onto the wrist of the arm that threaded underneath. And what I'm going to do with my head down, I'm just bringing mine up so y'all can hear me. I want to pull out on that wrist. So I'm using that pull, same as I did with my arms overhead, pulling on the wrist to try and help that stretch out through the lats, through the shoulder. Good, bring the top hand off. Pull the arm out through. Pause for a moment in the center. And then thread the opposite arm underneath, lowering down onto the ear or as close down as you can get. If you're still propped up, and as long as you feel the stretch through the lats, through the side, upper part of your body, you're good. And then I want to take that hand that's in front and bring it to the wrist of the arm that threaded through. And I'm just going to gently pull out through that wrist. Sit your weight of your upper body into that shoulder and just use that slight tension to get a little bit more out of that stretch. Good, bring the hand forward, draw out the hand from underneath, and then sit the hips back over the heels. And we're going to lower the forehead down and the elbows down onto the mat. So my forehead should be down. And then I'm going to bring my hands to a prayer in front. And then I'm going to bring that prayer to the back of my head. Feeling this stretch after the arm work out through the triceps. Release the arms and then walk your hands forward, bringing your hips forward, and then extend both legs back, coming into Sphinx. As we're here, we're just going to come onto our elbows. Our palms are turned down towards the mat. I'm going to cross my right arm in front of my body. I'm going to take my gaze back. I'm going to curl my left leg in. I'm going to reach back with my left hand for that left ankle. And then I'm going to turn my shoulders back towards the front to get a little bit of this stretch in the quad. Release the left ankle, draw the hands back out in front. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to curl back up through that left foot. And then I'm just going to try and swing that left leg behind me just slightly to get a little twist through the lower back. My left elbow may come up off the mat and resting onto that right elbow. My foot is kicked back onto the floor. And then I'm going to drop the hips back down onto the mat, cross my left arm in front of my body, curl up through the right leg, turn, gaze, grab a hold of the right ankle, and then look back forward. Stretch should be felt down through the front of the right quad this time. Now leave the leg up, but release the hand. Bring both hands out in front of you, and then push up on your right hand. Allow the leg to kick back behind you. My foot finds the floor. My right elbow has come off, but I'm supporting myself on that left elbow. Good, allow yourself to fully roll over. If you find yourself off the mat, you can work your way back onto the mat. Lower the upper body and then grab both knees and draw them into the chest. Both legs standing at a 90. We're going to take our right hand to our left knee, outer knee. Left hand extends out to the side, and we're going to drop the knees over to the right. Stacking the left leg on top of the right. Release the hand from the knee, inhale back towards center. Exhale the knees over to the left, bringing the left hand on top of the right knee. Right hand extends out to the side. Keeping a slight arch in your back. Release the hand, draw both knees back up. One last squeeze through the knees. And then extend both legs out nice and long. Heels are as wide as the mat. Toes fall open. Arms are open to the side. And here, if in the beginning you had any trouble with the breath, and that's finding the expansion of the breath, a way to do this here is to bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. On an inhale, your belly should fill up with that air, and your hand should rise with the lift of your belly. As the breath comes up through the rib cage, your rib cage expand, and then up through your chest to feel on your other hand. On an exhale, you feel the hand over the chest lower slightly just before it moves through the ribs, and then it pulls in through the belly. So the hands resting on those two parts of your body can help you tune in to whether or not you're taking this full breath. The full breath not only helps us slow down when things feel rushed, but it can tell our whole body system it's okay to calm. Be using this breath anytime. I know we're coming out of the holidays, but using this breath anytime you feel a little rushed or like you need to be grounded. You don't have to be on your back in Shavasana, the sweetest part of the yoga class, but it's just anytime you need to feel that groundedness. I'll let the coach that's leading the class have you guys hang out in Shavasana for a couple minutes, and then when you're ready, he'll have you just wiggle your fingers and your toes, bring back some life, roll to the side, and then carry on and have a great 9 a.m. workout or whatever you're up to the rest of the weekend. Miss y'all.